Hi guys, welcome to my channel. This is stellabeautytarot back at you again with another video. I would like to thank each and every one of you for liking, commenting, subscribing, and donating to my channel. I really do appreciate all the love and all the support. And thank you for those of you who've been booking readings with me. It is truly appreciated, okay? So guys, your girl's Patreon channel is up and running. So if you would like to support your girl, you'll be able to find a link in the description box below. I do post 2 exclusive videos per week, so go check it out if you feel called to. So as you guys could tell by the title of this video is going to be about you're living rent-free in their mind, how they perceive you now. Okay, so pile number 1, you're going to be the amethyst crystal. Pile number 2, you're going to be the red jasper crystal. And pile number 3, you're going to be this green fluoride crystal. I can't even speak. So again, pile number 1, you're going to be the red, the amethyst crystal. Holy moly. Pile number 2, you're going to be the red jasper crystal. And pile number 3, you're going to be this green fluoride crystal. So pause this video if you must and meditate on the card or the crystal that you feel most drawn to. You'll be able to find your timestamps in the description box below, and I'll see you guys at your pile. Hi Pawan! Welcome to my channel. This is stellabeautytarot back at you again with another video. So my pal number 1, you picked the amethyst crystal, and this is going to be your reading, okay? So if you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. I'm so happy to have you back. And if you are a newbie, welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. So the way that I like to do this is like to smudge the cards first before we get started, so we don't pick up the energy of previous file or previous readings, okay? So my pal number 1, you're living rent-free in their mind. How do they perceive you now? How does this person or these people perceive you now? You're living rent-free in their mind. How do they perceive you now? Like somebody's stressed, like stress. Okay, my pile number 1, you're coming in with a big Empress energy. Okay, that's how they perceive. No wonder you're living rent-free in their mind. With the Empress energy, no wonder. Okay. So if you are a Taurus and it's your birthday today, happy birthday, okay? And if you are a Libra, shout out to you. So what I'm getting here, yes, they perceive you as the Empress. You've leveled up on this person. You bossed up on these people, okay? It could be a specific person or like a group of people that are like living, like you're living in their mind rent-free, okay? They can't stop thinking about you. They can't stop watching you on social media if you have social media. Some of you have disabled your social media, okay? But you didn't cancel, like you didn't delete your account completely, but you may have disabled it just to take a temporary break away from social media. And if you've done that, oh my gosh, I'm getting like somebody who is enraged right now, like wondering what you're doing because they can't see you, right? Because you delete your social media, so they can't keep tabs on you. This person is like pulling their hair. How do they perceive you now? Ooh, 4 of Swords. You see how this like man on the illustration of the card like lay back and he has his arrow like pointed out, like just chilling, you know, getting ready. You're ready. Like you're already like you are on point right now. So you're ready for anything that somebody sends to your way with the 4 of Swords. But how they perceive you now is like you're being more chill, calm, cool, and collected, detached from the whole situation. You guys could have had a falling out with these people or that specific person, because I feel like They don't have access to you. That's why they can't stop thinking about you. That's why you're living rent free in their mind. They view you now as the wheel of fortune. Like you're basically winning against all odds with the wheel of fortune. Maybe this is somebody who had they did something to you to set you back in some way, shape, or form, or like they stole an opportunity from you. They set you back in some way, shape, or form. That's what I'm getting here. Okay. And now these people or this person is stressed out because you're leveling up in a way where they can't keep up. You're living rent free in their mind. How do they perceive you now? How do they view you now? Oh, 10 of Cups as their wish fulfillment. I feel like they regret it. They regret what they did because they no longer have access to you. Because I feel like you guys have had a falling out, and there is bad blood between the two of you or the group of people. But they see you as their wish fulfillment, their happiness with the 10 of Cups. How do they view you now? Ooh, 5 of Swords. Okay. They feel like you're pissed with the 5 of Swords, or you're angry with them, and that there wouldn't be any reconciliation if they were to come back and try to make amends with you. But I feel like you don't have to reconcile with this person. Why would you? Or these people, why would you? If they were the reason why you had to boss up because they did something to you and they brought you to a level where you didn't want to be in, like let's say if you like they set you back on your goals, your plans, or aspirations, why would you want to reconcile with somebody you know is a snake? Why would you do that? So you're living rent free in their mind. How do they view you now? Ooh, ooh, look at that. The Emperor. Bouse. Bouse energy. Okay, you could be an Aries. Don't have to be, but this is how they view you now. A bouse. They're afraid of you. Look at this illustration. Would you want to mess with this Emperor? I would want to. Oh my god, maybe you're Native American or something, because this is definitely Native American. um like you could tell like that, how he looks and how he's dressed and everything is definitely giving Native American. I don't know why I heard Mohawk. Maybe you are a Mohawk. Okay, because I know that's like a Native American tribe. Some of you, maybe that's your background. But yeah, like this person or these people, that's how they perceive you. Like you bossed up. Yeah, we have the Emperor and the Empress. Okay, you have a really good feminine, and you have a really good balance of your feminine and masculine energy here. You're making moves, big boss moves. Okay, you are definitely in alignment with your destiny. How do they perceive you now? Yeah, we have the Chariot, structured and disciplined, strong will, and committed. That's how they view you now. That's why you're living rent free, because they could see you moving forward with your life, and they're realizing that their action didn't really stop you, but all it did is propelled you to another level with the Chariot. Some of you could be cardinal signs here, because we have 3 cardinal signs. We have Aries, we have Cancer, and we have Libra. So you're a self-starter. You are an initiator, okay? You're driven here. The only one that we're missing is Capricorn. So you're living rent free in their mind. How do they perceive you now? How do they view you now? Just one card. How do they view you now? Ooh, 4 of Pentacles, guarded. That's how they view you now. But they also view you as somebody who's very stable, dependable. Yeah, this person is like stressed out, or these people are stressed out because like now you're building yourself from scratch, but you're building your foundation on solid ground. Okay, so it's going to be kind of hard to get you off your path now. Okay, so you're living rent free in their mind. Ooh, we have the 7 of Swords. They feel like you outsmarted them with the 7 of Swords, like you were strategic. Some of them, they may perceive you as being deceptive with the 7 of Swords, like that was your plan all along. But it's like, I'm getting like a lot of you, these people or this specific person betrayed you. They betrayed your trust. They set you back. I feel like they did something that was like very shady, that caused you to lose out on something, or lose out on money, opportunity, something that, you know, set you back. Okay, that you had to rebuild from scratch because of what they did. And now because of the way that you're building your life back on track, they feel like, oh, like you already had a plan up your sleeve. But it's like, no, you just know how to pivot. You know how to roll with the punches, and you know how to adjust. You may have a mutable sign in your chart, like you could be Gemini, Virgo, Pisces, or Sagittarius. You know how to adjust. Okay, you're living rent free in their mind. How do they perceive you now? How do they view you now? How do they perceive you? We have the King of Cups. Yeah, they perceive you as somebody who's emotionally intelligent, somebody who's very wise, okay, somebody who's well balanced. That's how they perceive you now. Like maybe they would have retaliated if that was them a long time ago, but you used your anger and you channel it to level up instead of like wasting it on them. Okay, so you're living rent free in their mind. How do they perceive you now? We have the Five of Pentacles. Ooh, you're leaving them out in the cold, and it's causing them a lot of grief. They perceive you as somebody who is like rancune. I think that's grudge. Like you're holding a grudge, because rancune is in French, right? So yeah, that's somebody who's holding a grudge. So that's how they perceive you, because they feel like you should be forgiving them, like let bygones be bygones, because you're leaving them out in the cold. That's what I'm getting here. Like they feel like it's unfair. Like you got your justice, you leveled up, now let them back in. And it's like, who are you? So entitled. They, you're living in their mind rent free. Ooh, Ace of Swords. They perceive you as somebody who is like self-righteous. I don't know why I'm getting that. Like whoever this person is or these people are, they try to justify their behavior of what they did to you in order to feel good about themselves, and then like justify why they did what they did and why you deserved it and why you should forgive them because of what happened. It's like, no, that's not how life works. Okay, so you're living their mind rent free. How do they perceive you? Eight of Pentacles. Yeah, they perceive you as somebody who's hardworking, somebody who's dedicated. Maybe it could be something to do with money, because we have a lot of Pentacles here. Okay, we have the the Four of Pentacles. So that means like you're holding back, pulling your energy away from them, because I feel like there's something to do with money. Maybe this is like a work related situation or family related situation where you lended somebody money and they promised to pay you back, and maybe they didn't pay you back on time, and then maybe you had to, like, you didn't have the money to pay your rent, and maybe you got kicked out, like, you know, you got evicted from your apartment and you had to start from scratch. Maybe you had to go back and live with your parents. Something could have happened where it set you back in a way where it really took a toll on you, but you were able to bounce back from it. And maybe this person could be like a family member, or it could even be like an ex-lover that took money from you. But they definitely view you with the Eight of Pentacles as somebody who's dedicated, hardworking. Okay, they did something shady. Maybe you called them out on their BS as well, and they felt some type of way about it. But they definitely view you as somebody who's dedicated, hardworking, having amazing work ethics. They could also perceive you as a perfectionist here. So you're living rent free in their mind. How do they perceive you now? Just one card, please, Spirit. How do they perceive you now? We have the King of Wands. Wow, okay. I got two cards. I'm going to take them. The King of Wands and the Seven of Cups. They perceive you as somebody who is cocky and arrogant. Because now that you're bossed up, like you don't know them anymore. Because we have the Emperor and the Empress. So you're on another level and they can't reach you anymore. You have generated or created options for you with the Seven of Cups. Yeah, they perceive you as like having a lot of options, being able to explore, not being limited. And I feel like that's what they were trying to do, limit your options in life, not just in a specific area of your life, in general. And it didn't work out like that. You're surprising them. How do they perceive you now? Yeah, as somebody who's adaptable. Like I said, that's why I feel like some of you could be mutable signs here. You are extremely adaptable with the Two of Pentacles, very skilled and talented. That's how they perceive you now. Yeah, like they were shook. Like whatever they've seen on social media got them shook. Yes, we have Justice, Libra. Yeah, they're perceiving you as somebody who is has high integrity with a Justice card, diplomatic. Yeah, you could have retaliated, but you chose not to. That's what Spirit is saying. You chose to use this energy and pour it into yourself instead, and that's why you're leveling up with the Empress and the Emperor. Like, instead of like going after them or trying to plan a revenge or something, like like, you know, plotting against them, you use that energy to better yourself, and that was your revenge. By you bettering yourself, by you leveling up and revoking access to you, that was your revenge. Like, you have a different idea of what revenge is. Okay. And we have the Strength card. The way that they view you now with the Strength card is that you're courageous, you're bold, self-mastery. And that's what I'm getting here. Okay. So how do they perceive you now? How do they perceive you now? What do we have here? Ooh, we have the Page of Pentacles. Yeah, they perceive you as being cautious, because maybe some of you, this person or these people, try to reconcile with you, like I said earlier, and maybe you're keeping them at arm's length. I keep getting like they see you as being greedy because you don't want to share your found resources, your abundance, and it's like, okay, well, you had to work on your own. They don't deserve your resources. So you're living in their mind rent free. How do they perceive you now? You're living rent free in their mind. How they perceive you now? How do they perceive you now? Wow, we have the Fool. They're perceiving you as somebody who is bold, okay? Because the Fool is like carefree, bold in his action, okay? There's no fear. And that's how they perceive you now. How do they? Yeah, I see Four of Pentacles. Closed off, okay? Guarded towards them. Yeah, like they're trying to strategize a way back into your life, but it's not working because you're like 10 steps ahead of them. You're living rent free in their mind. How do they perceive you now? Oh my gosh. We have the Five of Cups. We have five, 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 Five of Swords, Five of Pentacles. Now we have the Five of Cups. They're in regret. They're regretting because now, like, the resources, maybe it's resources that they've taken from you. Okay. And now that you've replenished, and not only that, you quadrupled your resources, they don't have access to this new you. And that's what's causing them to be in the Five of Cups. They're sad. They're heartbroken. They perceive you as a master manifester, a true magician, very skilled and talented here. You manifested your way out of the situation. You're living rent free in their mind. How do they perceive you? How do they perceive you? How do they perceive you? Wow, we have the Hierophant. You could be a Taurus here because we have the Empress. You could be Taurus or a Libra. Yeah, didn't I see mutable sign because we have Gemini and Virgo here? Yeah, they perceive you as a guru, as a master, okay, as a wise counselor with the Hierophant. You're a valuable individual. Now they see your worth. Before they didn't see your worth, or maybe they thought that you didn't see your worth or you didn't know your worth, but now they see it with the Hierophant. How they perceive you now? Ten of Cups. I'm telling you, their happiness. But they also perceive you as somebody who's getting your wish fulfillment, emotional satisfaction. Okay, you're happier now, happier that they're not in your life anymore and they don't have access to you. And they're sad about that. That's why they can't stop thinking about you. They could be like gossiping about you as well to other people. Okay. So that's all I have for you, my pal number one. I hope this reading resonated. If it did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And I hope to see you in my next video, pal number one. Bye. Hi, pal two. Welcome to my channel. This is stellabeautytarot back at you again with another video. So my pal number two, you picked the red jasper crystal, and this is going to be your reading, okay? So if you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. I'm so happy to have you back. And if you are a newbie, welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. So the way that I like to do this is like to smudge the cards first before we get started, so we don't pick up the energy of previous pile or previous readings, okay? So my pile number 2. You're living rent-free in their mind. How they perceive you now? You're living rent-free in their mind. How do they perceive you now? So it could be a group of people or a specific person, okay? We have the Strength card. So they perceive you as somebody who's very powerful, who has self-mastery, self-control, influential as well. You're calling the shots without having to do much. Like you're calling the shots. How do they perceive you now? How do they perceive you now? Wow, King of Swords. They perceive you as a bitch or a a-hole with the King of Swords because you have established a very strong boundary with this person or these people, and you are reinforcing this boundary. It could be a lover here, like an ex-lover that wants to come back into your life, and you're like, no, and I said no, and it's always going to be no. Okay, you're very smart. Like maybe they're shook. They didn't expect that from you because maybe, like, I feel like whoever these people are or that person, it's like when they had access to you, you were very nice. You're very loving. Okay? Very nurturing to this person. And the moment that they backstabbed you and betrayed you, you revoked all access and that niceness was gone. Like, this person or these people, they can't understand that. Oh my God. They were expecting to still see like the sweet side of you, and it's like, no, you're not gonna get that side. Okay, so pile number 2, how they perceive you now. We have the World card. Okay, accomplishments, cycle ending. Yeah, you ended out a cycle with these people. They know that this new beginning, this new journey that you are embarking on, they won't have access to. Okay, they view you as somebody who's well accomplished, somebody who is highly intelligent, because we have the King of Swords. So some of you may have traveled the world, well traveled, well read. This is how they perceive you now. They're shook. Like, I feel like they've never seen that side of you because they never took the time to get to know you fully. Okay, they misjudged you based on what they perceived initially, but now their perception has changed. How did they? Yeah, we have the Page of Pentacles. The Page of Pentacles is like an apprentice, right? The pages are like children, but they're also students and novelists. So there is an energy of like you being perceived as a student of life with the Page of Pentacles, but I'm also getting like a practical individual. That's how they perceive you now. Like you're very practical, down to earth, okay? Like meticulous in how you do things and very cautious. How you're living rent free in their mind. How do they perceive you now? Oh, they're heartbroken. They perceive you as a heartbreaker with the Three of Swords. They were not expecting you to behave like that because you were so nice and so sweet. So they assumed that you were weak. That's why they took you for granted, because they thought that you would never switch up on them. And it's not really like a switch up like where you're being deceptive and like you were faking it. It's more like, okay, yo, you're not gonna come treat me like that and then you still expect me to be nice or kind to you. No. Okay, that's not how it's gonna work. This is what I'm getting here. You're like, no, yes, I'm a good person, but that doesn't mean that I'm gonna allow you to walk all over me. That's not what it means to be a good person. That's not a, like, if you allow people to walk all over you, you're not a good person. You're a doormat. You're not a good person. Okay, a good person has a backbone. They know how to say no. They're not enablers. They don't enable people and their bad behavior. Okay, you're not a doormat, my pal number 2, and you know that. And now that's how they perceive you, like, not like, strong will and having a backbone. How they perceive you? 9 of Pentacles, high maintenance. Yeah, I feel like with the 9 of Pentacles, they like, it's like they wanted you to lower your standards because they feel like your standards are too high. Because like initially, like I said, initially you were very nice, very kind, okay? You were giving them the benefit of the doubt, right? So you didn't like right away try to treat them like an op or something because they're acting like op. That's what I'm getting here. This is like an op here. Somebody who's not really on your side. They just want to take advantage of you. But because you saw their play, you saw their game, you're like, okay, no, that's not how it's gonna work. If you're gonna come in my life, you're gonna have to treat me correctly. If you can't do that, then you have to get out. And with the Nine of Pentacles, you have standards for yourself. And the way that you're being perceived now by these people or that person is that your standards are really high and you're able to maintain those standards, and that you're very luxurious. Okay. Your value, the what you bring to the table is extremely valuable with the Nine of Pentacles. They're realizing what they're realizing about you right now, how they perceive you is as somebody who is self-sufficient and independent with the Nine of Pentacles. Maybe you guys were working on a project because some of you could be like work related, and maybe you quit this job and you're like, you're not going to come and stress me out for the money that you're paying me because it's not worth it. Okay. And that's why you're living rent free in their mind. You're living rent free in their mind. How do they perceive you now? Oh, somebody feels betrayed. We have the Ten of Swords. How do they perceive you now? King of Pentacles. I'm telling you, self-sufficient, independent. Okay, boss energy, because the King of Pentacles could represent like a CEO. You could represent like business owner, okay? Somebody who's in a prestigious position, but they perceive you as somebody who is self-sufficient, independent, reliable, and trustworthy. Like they're realizing that they lost a real one, a good one, okay? How do they perceive you now? What do we have? Ooh, the Wheel of Fortune. They perceive you like as a good luck charm, because I feel like the reason why you're living rent free in their mind as well is because ever since you left these people or this person's life, their life has been in shambles. They were experiencing a tower moment, and they're finally realizing that the reason why they were excelling or having good luck or good karma, okay, is because you were around. And the moment that you removed your energy, your essence, they started losing all of the blessings that they were able to accumulate and gain while they were around you. They start losing that blessing. Okay, so you're living rent free in their mind. How do they perceive you now? My pile number 2. Ooh, I can't make it up. Tower. I can't make it up, guys. The Tower. I can't make it up. They're having a tower moment. They perceive you as somebody who has many layers, like you're unpredictable, like didn't expect that side of you, like I said, because you were nice and kind before, and now there's a switch. Like you're no longer this person with them, though. It doesn't mean that you're not that person anymore. You're just adjusted how you handle these people. And that's why they're having a tower moment. They're shook. They're like, now they're wondering if they ever knew you. And that's the thing. I feel like they never did. Because if they did, they wouldn't have treated you like that. Okay? You're living rent free in their mind. How do they perceive you? Yeah, Four of Cups, a missed opportunity. Because you're like, now they're discontent, disappointed. How do they perceive you now? How do they perceive you now? My pal number 2. How do they perceive you now? What do we have here? We have the Hangman. Yeah, they perceive you as being disinterested, unbothered, just doing your own thing. And they didn't expect this unbotheredness that you are immuting right now. They didn't expect that. They didn't expect you to be this carefree and not give a ish about them and move on accordingly. How do they perceive you now? You're living rent free in their mind. How do they perceive? Yeah, 3 of Cups. Happy go lucky, optimistic, good vibes. Like they're seeing a side of you that they've never thought existed. So you're living rent free in their mind. How do they perceive you now? We have, ooh, 9 of Cups, wish fulfillment. That's why they are in regret with the 4 of Cups. They perceive you as wish fulfillment. Ooh, you're definitely alluring because this is a mermaid. Okay. And you know, mermaids, they're sirens, right? They're very, they lure, like, well, I know in Haitian cultures, they say the mermaid, they lure the men in the water and then to unalive them. Okay. They lure them with their voices, their singing, and their looks. But once they go under the water, oh, it's a demon. This is what I'm getting here. But I'm not saying that this is you, but like you're very alluring. That's how they view you now. Like there is like this attraction that they're having for you. They're obsessed with you. This is what I'm getting here, okay? So you're living rent free in their mind. How do they perceive you now? Wow, the Wheel of Fortune again, guys. You could be a Sagittarius here or a Pisces, but heavy on the Sag energy. Yeah, you won against all odds. You're definitely a good luck charm. That's how they perceive you now, because they're realizing, like I was saying earlier, that when you were around, you were bringing good luck. And now that you removed your energy, removed yourself from the situation altogether, they're experiencing a lot of delays or obstacles since you've been gone, okay? So you're living rent free in their mind. How do they perceive you now? How do they perceive? Wow, Ace of Wands. They perceive you as somebody who is bold, who is daring, action oriented, passionate, optimistic here. That's how they perceive you now. They didn't see the fire in you. That's what I'm getting here. Maybe you were more in like your water element, more loving and nurturing. Okay, they didn't see the fire, the passion in you that you had. I feel like maybe you are a water sign, sun, and then fire, moon, or something. So this person or these people, they just saw your water sun sign. That's all they saw, the surface level, because the sun sign is just a surface. It's not like, you know, your whole chart is what makes up your whole personality. But these people, they only saw the sun, so they saw like, okay, yeah, they're soft, they're nice, they're kind, so I could take advantage of them. But that fire that was in you is like, you got, that's not me. Okay, like I want to cuss right now, but I'm not, because these people, they're pissing me off. We have the Emperor boss energy. You could be an Aries, but you see fire, we have all the fire signs. I'm telling you. Some of you have fire, a lot of like heavy fire in your chart. Maybe like you have what's it called? You know when you have more than one planet in a fire sign? There is a word and it's not coming to me right now, but I feel like some of you have that, okay? In your chart. You have a lot of fire, like a specific fire sign in your chart. But you're a boss, you're a leader, you're a self-starter. This is how they view you now. That's how they perceive you now. They didn't know that you had it in you, okay? They didn't know how driven and focused that you were. How do they perceive you now? Ooh, King of Pentacles again, guys. Like, yo, you have the maddest touch. You're independent, self-sufficient, stable, down to earth. How do they perceive you now? We have the World card. Yeah, well accomplished. That's the second time we have the World card. That's how they perceive you now. Like somebody who has a lot, very accomplished, well balanced. Yeah, they see you as feisty. That's how they perceive you now with the Seven of Wands, because you're establishing strong boundaries. Like I was saying at the beginning of the read, I said they view you as bitch or a-hole with the King of Swords, because you're cutting through the nonsense and you're telling it like it is. Okay, that's how they perceive you now. But they also perceive you as like having strong boundaries with the Seven of Wands and being feisty. Okay, because maybe they're trying to say like, oh, it's not my fault, it was a misunderstanding. No, it was not a misunderstanding. Okay, you know exactly what you're doing. You're living rent free in their mind. How do they perceive you now? Ooh, the Ten of Cups, as their wish fulfillment, as their like happiness. Okay, but they also perceive you as somebody who brings a lot of joy everywhere you go. How do they perceive you now? Wow, Five of Pentacles, cold and emotionally detached. You left them high and dry. They didn't expect that from you because of how you were nice. Like that's why they feel like you switched up on them. But it's not switching up. And it's like, oh, what do you expect people to be? Like robots? So you're living rent-free in their mind. How do they perceive you now? Yeah, Page of Cups. Maybe like very sensitive, highly sensitive. Like maybe they're trying to say like you're too sensitive or you need to lighten up. You're too emotional. Excuse me, guys. I'm not liking this because like you know how people they hurt your feelings, right? They do things to you, very shisty things to you, right? And then they want to turn around and say, oh, you're too sensitive, I was just joking. No, you were not. No, you were not joking. When you did what you did, you meant it. So own up to what you just did. Okay, like that's why I'm like, this person's, whoever these people are, this person, they're getting on my last nerve. Because that's how they're coming up. Like, oh, but like you're too sensitive with the Page of Cups. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're entitled to how you feel, my pal number two. Okay, yes, they hurt your feelings. They did something shady and you cut them off and you're like, I'm not dealing with you. And you have every right to say that. Okay? Because if it was the other way around, they would have cut you off too. So, So you're living rent free in their mind. How do they perceive you now? Yeah, structured, disciplined, strong willed, committed. That's how they perceive you now. You're committed to yourself. You're committed to your goals. You're strong willed. Okay. How do they perceive you now? Yeah, Four of Wands. Some of you, it could be like an ex that didn't think that you were going to break up with them and really be over, like really be over them and move on completely. Now they see you, they perceive you as their like wish fulfillment, their soulmate, because we do have the Nine of Cups, right? And now we have the Four of Wands. They perceive you as their soulmate, but they also perceive you as somebody who's very stable and well-rounded individual. How do they perceive you now? I just seen the Strength card. They wanted to come out again. How do they perceive you now, my pal? We have the Magician, a master manifester, very skilled, very talented. Maybe they underestimated your skill sets and your talents. Maybe they initially thought you were mediocre, but now they're realizing that no, you're the boss here. You're excellent. Okay, you're great. They're putting respect on your name now. Okay. So that's all I have for you, my pal number two. I hope this reading resonated. If it did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And I hope to see you in my next video, pal number two. Bye. Hi, Pal 3! Welcome to my channel. This is stellabeautytarot back at you again with another video. So, my pal number 3, you picked this green fluorite crystal. And this is going to be your reading, okay? So, if you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. I'm so happy to have you back. And if you are a newbie, welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. So the way that I like to do this is like to smudge the cards first before we get started, so we don't pick up the energy of previous pal or previous readings, okay? So my pal number 3. You're living rent-free in their mind. How do they perceive you now? You're living rent-free in their mind. How do they perceive you now? Ooh, we have the High Priestess. You could be a Cancer here, don't have to be. But they perceive you as being mysterious, okay? Moving in silence, highly spiritual here, mystical, magical. That's how they perceive you, but they're also frightened. They're scared of you. They're scared of your spiritual gifts. Maybe this is somebody who may have thought that you were not as spiritual as you claim to be. Like maybe they thought that you were a gimmick, that you're faking. Maybe you are a tarot reader as well. And like maybe this is somebody that you've met. It could be a friend or a lover, and you told them about your spiritual gifts. You opened up to them about your spirituality, and this person thought that you were pretending. And I feel like you have cut off this person from like since then, and they've been watching you, stalking you, and they're realizing like now, okay, no, this person's really the real deal. Okay. Maybe you've done a reading for this person and initially they didn't believe you, but it came to pass and now they're shook. Okay. So you're living rent free in their mind. How do they perceive you now? Oh, they're stressed. I'm telling you, I feel like you told them something about themselves. Like you've seen something in their cards when you were reading them. Maybe you are you know how to read tea leaves, okay? Or you know how your palmist, like maybe you know how to read palms, and maybe you told them something that was going to happen, and maybe you were able to predict around what time that it was going to happen based on how you read their lines, their palms, and it did. And now they're in the Eight of Swords. Somebody's stressed. They're anxious. Okay. Like now they feel naked, they feel seen because like you know something about them that they wish you never knew. Okay. And now they're wondering like, how much do you know? You're living rent free in their mind. How do they perceive you now? How do they perceive you? We have the Two of Wands. Yeah, they perceive you as somebody who is bold in your action, like you are a planner, you're an initiator, because the Two of Wands is all about planning, initiating, and looking for, like being a far-sighted individual, looking ahead. Okay. And Three of Wands is actually executing that plan. So they definitely view you as somebody who is a self-starter and initiator. And we do have a cardinal sign, Cancer. Okay. So how do they perceive you now? We have the Knight of Swords and the Emperor. Bows energy. Okay. Bows. Didn't I say self-starter, initiator? We already have Cancer. Now we have Aries. Okay. You're a fast forward individual. You're quick to take action with the Knight of Swords. You take charge. You're highly intelligent. You outsmarted this person with the Knight of Swords, and they weren't expecting that. Maybe like, yes, you did tell them about your spirituality with the High Priestess, but there's something about your spirituality that you did not divulge to this person. You didn't tell them. Like maybe let's say for instance, maybe you told them that you're a tarot reader, but you could be also you could have premonitions. Okay. Like you could see them in your dreams. Maybe you have prophetic dreams. Maybe you saw something about this person in your dreams, or like you had a premonition about them but you never told them because you never told them that part of you. This person feels like that you outsmarted them, or these people, they view you as a boss, a leader. Okay. With the Emperor, that's how they perceive you now. Maybe a shaman, because this kind of looks like, he kind of looks like a shaman to me. Okay. And maybe you're a shaman, or maybe like you are Native American. Okay. Or like if you're not Native American, you're aboriginal to your land, where you're from, your country. You are aboriginal. Okay. This is what I'm getting here, because this is what Native Americans are. They are aboriginal to the land. The first, maybe you're Mexican, because Mexicans are aboriginals. Okay. So this is what I'm getting here. Mayans. So this also, like, yeah, that's kind of giving me Mayan energy too. Maybe you're Mexican. That's what I'm getting here. So how do, you're living rent free in their mind. How do they perceive you? How do they perceive you? Oh, the Ten of Cups. Happiness, joyful. They perceive you as somebody who is very well balanced emotionally, because the Ten of Cups could represent emotional satisfaction, emotional balance. Okay. How do they perceive you now? You're living rent free in their mind. Yeah, I see Two of Pentacles, balance energy again. They perceive you as somebody who's multi-talented, because as you could see, she's riding the bike, but she's not holding oh my gosh, the wheel. Not the wheel. Because I know it in French, le guidon. Oh my gosh. Okay. And then she's like not holding it, right? And then, but she's juggling the Two Pentacles. So you're multi-talented, very skilled here. Now that's how they perceive you. Because I feel like this person thought that you were like a gimmick, like you were pretending, because they don't understand how energy works. Okay. Maybe you are a Reiki master as well. So how do they perceive you now? Wow. We have the Judgment card. I'm telling you, they are afraid that you know something about them that they wouldn't want you to know. They know that you know with the Judgment card. Like you could be judging them, not like, judging them like in a way where you're looking down on them, but you've seen something about them that made you pull away. And that's why they're like, you're living rent free in their mind. Like they can't stop thinking about you, like wondering what more do you know? Like this person's tripping. So you're living rent free in their mind. How do they perceive you? Yeah, you see, Three of Wands, action oriented, go getter, far sighted individual. You're bold in your action with the Three of Wands. I'm getting like tunnel vision because that looks like tunnel vision. Like this person's just focused on what's ahead and not what's behind. Okay, maybe this person has a picture of you because we have like a camera here. They could be reminiscing about you too. Maybe this person misses you, or these group of people could be missing you. So you're living rent free in their mind. You're living rent free in their mind. How do they perceive you? Ooh, as somebody who's very creative with the Ace of Wands, somebody who's bold, action oriented, passionate here, assertive. That's how they perceive you now. Okay, they're seeing your true potential and your power now. They didn't see it then because they were like maybe looking down on your talent, looking down on your spirituality, because maybe this person is from different religion or spiritual belief, and they may have looked down on you. Okay, maybe they thought that your beliefs were fake or fraudulent. Okay, so you're living rent free in their mind. How do they perceive you now? Yeah, temperance, Sagittarius energy. You're even tempered, you're balanced, you're an alchemist here. That's how they perceive you now. Like, you know how to alchemize energy, transmute energy, turn it negative into positive. Because look at this. We have the thunderstorm on this side, and then we have the sunshine on this side. Okay, you are somebody who's an alchemist, who's well balanced, somebody who's able to roll with the punches. And that's how they perceive you now. They perceive you as somebody who's very wise beyond your years as well. So you're living rent free in their mind. How do they perceive you now? Ooh, as a missed opportunity with the Four of Cups. They're disappointed. Now they don't have access to you. They're a little bit embarrassed too because of what you know about them. How do they perceive you now? So you're living rent free in their mind. How do they perceive you now? Okay, that's too many. Just one, please. How do they perceive you now? We have the Page of Cups. Highly intuitive, very sensitive to your environment, very sensitive to the energies, okay? I feel like they didn't expect that you would pick up on certain things about them that you didn't even say. Like I said, you could have like some other spiritual gifts that you just never told this person. Maybe you were giving them in bits and pieces of you, like, you know, you were gradually opening up to this person, and the whole time this person was like they're judging you while you were seeing them for who they truly were. They were like judging you based on what they believed, not what was like being shown to them, the reality of you. Okay, you're living rent free in their mind. How do they perceive you? Yeah, they perceive you as like cold, because we have the Five of Pentacles here, being left out in the cold. You drop them like a bad habit. That's how they perceive you, as like emotionally withdrawn or distant. Yeah, Four of Pentacles. Yeah, closed off. That's how they perceive you now. Like, they're realizing that they lost access to you for like forever, and that you were actually very loving and nurturing towards them. You're genuine with them. That's what I'm getting here. You were actually genuine. Like, you were trying to open up to this person. I feel like you have gone through trauma and you've healed from this trauma, and this person was coming to you for some sort of like healing. And maybe they thought like you were just a gimmick, you were pretending to be a healer, or you're pretending to be a spiritualist, so they thought that you were fraud. They dismissed you. Maybe you give this person advice on how to heal something, or how to do a specific task, or to achieve a specific goal, because you've achieved that goal already, so you have the blueprint. But this person like dismissed you. Now they regret it. So you're living rent free in their mind. How do they perceive you now? What do we have here? They perceive you as the Empress. Okay, you could be a Libra or a Taurus, and if you are a Taurus and it's your birthday today, happy birthday. Okay, with this energy, they perceive you as somebody who's very nurturing with the Empress, abundant, creative. You have a really good balance of feminine and masculine energy. Yeah, you're very loving and nurturing towards this person. Like, you open up your heart to this person. You're very caring, okay? Like a Maybe like I'm getting like you treated this person like family, because we do have the 10 of cups here. You open up your heart to this person, you open your arms to this person, and they dismissed you, or they betrayed you, or betrayed your trust, or like I really feel like this person like downplayed your gifts. Maybe they talk crap about you behind your back to their friends and family. So yeah, 6 of Wands. Yeah, they view you now. The way that they perceive you as somebody who has high self-esteem with the 6 of Wands, but also in a prestigious position that you know your worth, because we do have the Empress here. So you definitely know your worth. You know what you bring to the table. Okay, you know what value you bring to the table. Maybe this person underestimated that, or underestimated like what you believe about yourself. Maybe they thought that you viewed yourself the same way that they view themselves, because maybe this person has low self-esteem, and then being in your presence caused them to be insecure, because we do have the 8 of Swords here. They're trapped in fear. Like I feel like you saw them for who they were, but you never judged them. You never looked down on them or made them feel like they were inferior to you. But because like you were like that towards them, they felt like you were superior because you weren't judging them, you weren't looking down on them, you didn't find anything like negative to say about them in order to feel good about yourself. Like you didn't need their validation, and that's something that troubled them. They felt like, why don't you need my validation? Why don't you need me to feel good about yourself the way that they needed you to feel good about themselves? Like they didn't needed to make you feel down and out in order to feel good. But you're not like that. You don't need to do that. You don't get your validation from people. You get your validation from God, from yourself, your higher self. So that's the difference here. So you're living rent free in this person's mind. How do they view you now? Wow, we have the Ace of Cups. Yeah, they perceive you as somebody who has high self-esteem. Guys, I can't make it up. Okay? And that you're a genuine individual. The love that you give was genuine. You didn't want anything in return, or you weren't doing it because you want validation like they did. How do they perceive you now? Just one card, please, Spirit. How do they perceive you now? Wow, we have the Hierophant. You could be a Taurus, because that's the second time Taurus comes out. We have the Empress, and now we have the Hierophant. Well-balanced individual. You're honorable. That's how they perceive you now. They're realizing this now. You're an honorable individual because you live up to your values. You have a code of conduct that you live by. Okay? The way that you conduct yourself is in alignment with your values. You're not going to do something out of character just because somebody said something to you or did something to you. You live by your code of ethics here with the Hierophant. And that's how they perceive you now. An honorable individual, deserving of respect. So how do they perceive you now? Yeah, emotionally withdrawn. Yeah, they know that you don't care anymore because you never needed their validation. Maybe you needed their friendship, maybe their love, but not their validation. It's like, you don't want to give me what I deserve. All right, I'm going to find it somewhere else. I'm not going to beg you. I'm not going to chase you. I'm not going to jump through hoops to prove myself to you. That's what I'm getting here. This person's realizing this about you. How do they perceive you now? Wow, the 2 cups. Yeah, some of you could be like a friend, because the 2 cups could represent partnership, union, or a lover, an ex-lover, past lover. Okay, how do they perceive you now? Now they're in love with you. Okay, how do they perceive you now? We have the Magician. I think the Magician came out for all 3 piles. So you could be a Gemini, or you could be a Virgo here, or you're a master manifester. That's how they perceive you now. Very skilled and talented at what you do. A great conversationalist here. Yeah, you're able to speak things into existence. How do they perceive you now? My pal number 3. Wow, we have the Sun card. Confident, successful, abundant, bold, and daring with the Sun card. Like they also perceive you as somebody who's authentic, because the Sun card is like a happy card, a happy energy, authentic energy. Okay, this is what I'm getting here. And that's how they perceive you now. That's why you're living rent free in their mind. We have the Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, they perceive you as a good luck charm because now they're looking back at how their life used to be when you were around, the positive energy that you brought to the table, like all the positive energy that you brought in, the good luck charm that you brought in with the Wheel of Fortune, like the inspiration that you brought in. Like they're realizing this now that you're gone. That's why they can't stop thinking about you. That's why they're like thinking about you, like constantly watching your social media constantly. And they're tripping because of what you know about them. So you're living rent free in their mind. How do they perceive you now? Just one card. Just one card, please. How do they perceive you now? We have the Queen of Pentacles. They perceive you as somebody who is independent, self-sufficient, but also dependable, reliable, and trustworthy. Like I said with the Empress that came out, like you were very nurturing and loving towards this person, and they took this for granted, and now they're all in their head about you. Okay, so that's all I have for you, my pal number 3. I hope this reading resonated. If it did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I hope to see you in my next video, pal number 3. Bye.